Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan Dornbush. I'm here with Joshua Yale.
Hello.
And we are at E3 2019. There are so many games being shown, and one in particular was finally Marvel's Avengers. We finally got a look at what that game will look like, who the voice cast is. We got a release date, beta info, so much about it. But one of the most interesting things about this reveal was that there was a tease that we think could maybe imply it could have a connection to another Marvel game.
Yes, Jonathan. So this threw me for a loop. Everyone
Yes.
else was just watching the conference, and I stood up out of my chair and was like, "Oh my gosh, this game, Marvel's Avengers, could connect to Spider-Man PS4."
Ooh.
And I'll get ahead of it now. There could be a lot of reasons why this does not mean what I think it means.
And we'll
but
talk about that later.
But it's my job to read into this stuff as much as possible, so let's do it. So, in Spider-Man on PS4, if you went and visited Avengers Tower in New York City, it would play this.
Avengers Tower is so cool, but they're never around to use it. I think they're probably somewhere on the West Coast right now. Probably surfing or something.
And during the Avengers conference today, they said this.
Hello, San Francisco!
So as you can see,
Definitive proof.
yes, Spider-Man says the Avengers are on the West Coast, and then we just saw the trailer that says they're on the West Coast in San Francisco, opening up the West Coast Avengers headquarters.
Yeah. So it must be the
Shared
same
universe? Shared universe, Jonathan?
I'm sorry, Joshua. I have some bad news. It probably isn't a shared universe. At least for now is what I'm thinking. I would love that. That would be amazing. But there are a lot of hiccups in the way that could prevent it. I do agree it is a wonderful Easter egg. But unfortunately, business may prevent it. So one of the weirdest things is, of course, Marvel Games is like the overseer of all these different Marvel properties. But Marvel's Spider-Man was a PS4 exclusive developed by Insomniac Games. And this, of course, is being published by Square Enix and developed by Crystal Dynamics. Totally different companies, totally different developers, studios, whatever. It would be bizarre and amazing if those two completely different companies were allowed to and be able to work together to make a shared universe. But Marvel did make the MCU, and they did destroy what we think of as movies and cinematic universes and all that. So it's not crazy to think that they could have maybe worked some behind-the-scenes magic for this.
After all, if you speaking of the movies,
Yes.
they did make a special deal for Spider-Man before, and wouldn't it be freaking crazy? Wouldn't it blow people's minds if Spider-Man in the white suit
Yes.
showed up in
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers?
Yeah,
that
it
would be awesome.
I don't want to be too much of a pessimist. It's just there are so many machinations of how the industry works that could
Yes.
possibly prevent it. But I do love that there is that nod in there that if they want to, they could take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I actually asked Brian Intihar
Yes.
about that connection,
Yeah,
who's the lead of Spider-Man on PS4, and he said it was just a fun Easter egg where they were giving a nod to their own location,
Yeah,
which is on the West
Insomniac
Coast.
yeah.
So it's probably just a coincidence, but maybe it's not.
Who
but
knows? It's set up to work if they wanted to.
But I will say this: if let's say it's not a connection,
Okay.
and I have read too much into this, then that means they could possibly introduce a new version of Spider-Man
Yeah.
for Marvel's Avengers, which in my book could be just as good.
That could be awesome. Yeah, I'm not afraid of too many Spider-Men, given how great Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was.
There you go.
So yeah, who knows what's actually going to shake out with Marvel's Avengers. Of course, there's so much more we will probably learn about this game in the months to come ahead of its release in 2020. You can look forward to all of our coverage of Marvel's Avengers, plus everything else happening at E3 2019. There are so many games, so many previews, so many announcements, and all of it is being covered right here on IGN.